This is Mike Cagley here with Marcus Griffin. We will have Kedrick Prince on, and we're going to do our best to have Brad Sturdy on. Although the ancient bowels of Madison Square Garden are not always conducive to cell phone signals, so we will see. We'll play Brad by ear, folks. That game was a very frustrating game for a lot of us, and I'll tell you, there were two times where Illinois had when UConn got the 12-point lead, they went on a 10-0 run. Illinois had a 2.5, 3 minute, I guess 2 minutes and 50 seconds of no scoring. Here at the end of the game, there was no field goals the last 2:56. Illinois' offense is frustrating. And I got to be honest with you, I know it is an NBA offense, but Illinois doesn't have 7 NBA players where you can play an NBA offense and have NBA players at every position like Duke does. So I'm not certain if that's always the way to go. And the other thing I'm frustrated about, Marcus, is we get these shooting droughts, but this is a team of with European players who do a lot of pick and roll. We can't set a bone crushing pick. Merkovic can do that occasionally. But I would think for a team that does so much of this type in their background, that they'd be a lot better at getting guys open by setting some good picks. And even that has been frustrating for me. I don't know. Let you kind of take over, Marcus. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on this, and then we'll jump in and have Ked give us his feedback.
KP, what's going on, my man? This game was extremely frustrating to watch because it's the same thing that I said that I've been saying. We are a one-dimensional team against elite. We have to get if the object of this team is to win a national championship, if that's the goal, we have to get easy baskets. We have to take advantage of mismatches. We cannot let guards off guarding 7'2". I don't care how many times I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. You have to punish the elite teams when they make bonehead mistakes. You got to, because they don't make a lot of them. So when you get a guard on your big guy, you got to be like, no, we're going down low. We got to punish them. Even if they miss it, it's the thought process. Punish the paint, punish the paint, punish the paint. I love Boswell. He cannot be our leading points in the paint every game. He just can't. He just can't. It's a toughness thing. It's something deep in you that as a center is just something that you have to have. You have to have if you want to compete at the highest level in the Big Ten. And it's just like seeing Timmy throw up that jump hook late in the second half. I'm just sitting there pulling my hair out. Was like, I see that. So I know you can do that more. You give me once. Now, okay. Now my expectation, I need you to go right. As soon as you get the mismatch, he went straight to work, shimmy to the right, came back over the left shoulder. That's what I need to see. I don't need to see it 10 times a game, but why not 4? Why not 3? Like, just to be able to change up the offense because our threes are not hitting. We have to be able to get easier buckets off a pick and roll. You see a team is switching, throw the ball to the wing, and the big guy dives to the block. It's just that simple. Just that simple. 2 dribbles, jump hook. Don't think about it. It ain't nothing to think about, but that's just a part of my frustration. I can talk about this. KP, I know you're tired of hearing me say it because I said after every game that I wish we had a little bit more down low, but I don't know.
Griff, Mike, I'm not going to lie to you. This is hard for me not to act like I did when I was 25 years old. I'm telling you, I'm hot. I'm not happy at all about it. I'm upset about it. There's nothing good to say about this at all. To me, and I'm going to try my hardest to be professional about this, the lack of fight, and I heard Griff say this, the fight and competitiveness to just continue to sit there and watch teams punch you in the face and you take it. There's no, I'm not asking for a fist fight. I'm just not. But this guy's just taking the ball from you. No will to go out here to just want to step up and not take losses. Griffin, 100% right. You know what? They had one guy out there today, and for the people out there, if you're going to ask why Brad Underwood did not play one of his leading scorer on the team, then I don't know how much you know about basketball. Andrei Stojakovic did not come to play today. He did not. He was a factor. We talked about it at half. Quit being a finesse player. If you're not going to guard, you can't play. At the end of the day, it is. I'm frustrated. I know the fans are frustrated, and you should be. It's a combination of things. Just so many different things that's left on this table for me. Number one, they didn't compete. They didn't defend ball screens. The lack of post play. I'm sick of watching officials just blow calls and just pretend that it doesn't happen. I'm not the biggest Ben Rickhouse fan, but he clearly blocked out and he gets mauled over the back. And then other teams get those calls. And Brad Underwood, I'm going to upset a lot of people when I say this, and I don't really care today. I really don't. Brad Underwood came to Illinois. He was a tough coach. But then you have the other side who complain how tough he is. So he became Mr. Nice Guy. I don't want to see Mr. Nice Guy. I want to see Keith Kimball get taken to the woodshed like he should have, because he's horrible. He's the same guy that called the foul on Colin Boswell when they played Alabama when the guy slipped and fell on the floor. Hold them accountable. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't. That's not why they lost, but it doesn't help. Everybody in the world saw the over the back call when Ben Rickhouse actually blocked out, and there was nothing. And you're trying to get back in the game. Do your job as an official. But I'm also not pleased with the team, because I know they're prepared, but no matter what, you cannot go out there and play for them. You can't. And it's not going to happen.
I agree with that, Mr. Kenny.
Yeah. The thing I guess I get the most frustrated is, and I wanted to put up Kenny's thing here about, I'm not certain that Underwood's trying to put his guys in the NBA, but I do think that this team, Ked and I have done these podcasts for 5 years now together, and he gets tired of me at the start of the season going, this is not a good 3-point shooting team. Every year I hear about how great our 3-point shooting is, and then it sucks. And so we take too many shots. And I just go back to watching guys like Marcus play. And if Marcus gets a guy who can't shoot a three reliably or over 30%,
yes,
you want him to shoot it. You're like, this is great. All I got to do now is track the ball, go get a rebound. And so many times our guys are taking the easy shot, which is I'm going to jack up a three. And Illinois shot 12.5% from the three in the second half. They were 2 for 16. Take the ball into the lane and make something happen. Stojakovic is the thing that got me about him is he gets the ball into the lane. But the problem is he was getting suckered in because Hurley knew that he doesn't like to pass it out of that situation. So gives him a little crack, and they fish him into a 2-on-1 and sometimes a 3-on-1. Why can't Illinois do smart ball like that? UConn was constantly in the right place for the rebound. They grabbed it with two hands. They didn't tip it up. How many times did we see Illinois tip a ball that went to UConn for a rebound? Grab the damn ball. And so the little things like that are just absolutely driving me nuts.
Mike, can you do me a favor? I think we had a message on the board from a guy named Seth. Can you bring that up? Yes, to answer this question, a lot of our offense was we had a 2-game set, and that we can run it to a certain side to get a certain type of high-low or a certain type of isolation, but it was mostly in the paint. It was mostly we trying to get, because we knew we had an advantage in size. Like, you could definitely go one-on-one isolation with Frank on the wing, but most of it was you isolate me and B Cook. You get B Cook at the top of the key, and if a team knew that they was going to double team, we would isolate, tell Cook to dive, and then we ran that play quite a few times against Iowa, because Iowa would double team with their big, and so we would just normally have Cook at the top of the key for that high-low, but we would enter the ball from the wing, and then once I got it, Cook knew to dive because his man was automatically coming to double no matter where I got the ball, and so it was always an easy bounce pass.
Yeah.
We did that on clutch times a couple of times.
But like, why is it, the thing that was frustrating to me is, why is it that UConn can have a guy cut wide open to get the layup, and Illinois can't get the guy to cut wide open? UConn can set the pick that does that sets up a good drive. Illinois can't set the pick. It's the little stuff like that frustrates me. And Illinois is good enough that it doesn't make difference in probably 6 or 7 out of 10 games. When you play Alabama, when you play UConn, Tennessee, and my God, that Michigan team right now, and I'm not saying they're going to play that good every night, but that game, that role that they're on in Vegas was pretty darn impressive. And so you've got to do the little things, and that's what's disappointing. I like Petrovic. It's clear, though, that he doesn't know what the hell the rest of the team's doing, but at least he makes mistakes at full speed.
Yeah. It's just the little I'm sorry, KP, go ahead.
No, okay. So here's my thing. I want to address what Mike said a little bit. When you lose, everybody's frustrated, and so am I. Mike, it's Illinois. The bottom line is Illinois is if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Last time they lost Alabama, they didn't make free throws. Okay, we know they lost the game because of free throws. Today, they shot 94% from the free throw line. Today, on something else, reared his head, 32% from the field. They didn't score a flipping field goal for the last 2 minutes and 56 seconds of the game. They were 6 of 29 from 3. They have looks. They can't make them. I mean, think about it. Steve Smith mentioned it. If they make threes, it's a different game, and it stinks because they do run offense. How many open looks did Zonomer get wide open? How many open looks did Ben Rickhouse get?
Wait a minute, Ked. I'm going to use your words against you.
Please do so.
Maybe they were wide open
because
they wanted them wide open.
Yeah. So it goes back to Griff's point. This is what I agree with. If they can't shoot threes and they're wide open, I understand that. I know it's not your typical analytical basketball, and please don't bring that smoke to me today because I don't want to hear it. I don't. Take 4 or 5 dribbles in. Mike, you asked about like why are they open? If they can't get to the rim, I mean, if they're not wide open, shots going to go, they're going to attack the basket. They don't do that. Analytics is great for some people. I understand it, and Illinois is not the only school to use it. There's a guy on Twitter that we butt heads all the time, and I'm not going to be embarrassed to admit it. His name is Ant Wright, and he exposed, Mike, you're laughing because you know damn well what Kedrick is getting ready to say. He exposed the analytical part of Ben Rickhouse defense. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't, because it's on there. So you go follow him and you watch that, because the eye test still matters. And you know who I love on the Illinois staff that does that is Shauna Green, because she mentions it. You can do analytics. I understand that. But Griff is right. Get your ass to the post. Be competitive if shots are going to fall. Our big guys don't want any of that. I saw twice, I think, tonight, Tomislav wanted to go to the post. You're not going to win. There was a national guy who posted, the reason Illinois can't win a national title, Griff, I'm going to tip my hat to you, buddy, is because they're soft in the team. He said they were a donut team. His words, not mine.
Hey, wait a minute. I said that last week. I was all over
true.
That.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how much. Like, I'm sorry. I played in the pink. I played in the Big Ten. And I love what Coach is doing and bringing a different flavor and a flair to Illinois, just trying something different, because I've never seen a Power 5 conference go with this many internationals. I've never seen it before. I love it, what he's doing. But at the end of the day, you got to have a certain type of dog in you in that paint in the Big Ten. You got to. You have to. It's just what needs to be had. And when you see a 6-foot guard, do you know what I used to think when I saw a 6-foot guard guarding me on a switch? I'm going big. I'm trying to draw all attention to me. I am posting up. I want that mismatch. Oh no, I'm punishing your little self. No, you don't get a chance. They have to do that. It's just something that they will need. It's gonna come a time that one of them big boys is gonna have to look themselves in the mirror, was like, Boswell is a 6'2" guard, and he's our best post-up player.
That's sad. And he's your best player. Everybody else was still in Thanksgiving mode, Griff. We could talk about defense. We can't score. Sorry, Illinois can't score. I'm sorry. I mean, as good as UConn played, Illinois had a chance to win still. Damn it, you can't shoot 32% against these teams. And I'm going to say this, and people, you can unfollow me. I don't care. Michigan looks really good. I understand. And Michigan State looks good. But Illinois can't have those things. Do you realize when Michigan State beat Kentucky, they couldn't put it in the ocean? I watched Michigan go on a run, and Gonzaga couldn't put it in the ocean. Yep. Illinois hasn't had that luxury. When they played Alabama, I watched the game again last night because I had nothing else to do. Every time Illinois made a three, Alabama answered. They play UConn today, guys coming off the screen, shooting with one leg, going to the left and right. They're making shots. Illinois, if they're going to play these teams, they're going to have to get lucky, pray, get a rosemary, I don't know what the hell you want to call it, and hope that there's some luck because they have the talent. But you're not going to beat anybody if you can't make wide open shots.
Let me say one thing, Mike. KP is not about talent. It's not about talent.
You're right.
It's about that dog in you.
You're right. And they don't have
Today's game was not about talent at all. You said it before you got on here. It's about who could get punched in the face and who can stop being punched in the face and punch back.
Griff, let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me. If you don't want to say it, I'm going to. You have played basketball, and I'm okay with the European players. I am. But what is the knock that you've heard? What is the one thing? Yes. I have friends texting me, and I'm going to show it to you. Kid, the talent's there, but they're just not. They don't have that guy. They need that arrogant. They need that Lucas Johnson, Marcus Griffin guys, Sergio McClain guys, Kylan Boswell, who refuses to lose. And they're talented. Don't get me wrong. And I like the fact that they're there. Let's use Andrei Stojakovic. This was a game for him on the big stage where he could have punished them. Brad sought his ass because he wasn't competitive today. DeMonte Williams, another one. They just need that one guy, but you can't count on a 6-foot guard because Kylan's not 6'2", 6'3", like you said, Griff, to get to the paint to score. Yep. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, you guys want your mind blown?
Uh-oh.
So Boswell had 25 points on 8 for 16 shooting. That means the rest of the team scored 36 points on 11 for 44.
Mike, you just ruined the rest of my Thanksgiving break.
So 29 of those shots was.
So take a look at that. 8 for 16 and 25 points. The rest of the team, 11 for 44 and 36 points.
Think about that. 11 field goals for what, 9, 10 other players? 11?
Yeah. And the epitome of the game to me, Illinois got down by 10 finally. What happened? Jake Davis takes a 3. Immediately the ball goes down to the other end of the court. And I'm like, this is the epitome of Illinois basketball. We got a guy that the other team, and I like Jake, but if you ask Bobby Hurley to pick a guy to take a 3-point shot when Illinois has a chance to go down by single digits, he's going to say, yeah, I'd love it to be Jake Davis. So he takes a 3-point shot, and that's the epitome of this game. And then the other epitome, and I love Petrovic, and I think he needs more minutes. He needs to play more with Boswell. He needs to understand what the hell's going on. But when it was either Big Z or Big T, I can't remember which one. One of them was being guarded by a 6'1" guard. And he, instead of doing a bounce pass to get the ball inside to him, Petrovic dribbled around to the other side and took a fadeaway from the right at the elbow. Those two moments are why Illinois lost this game.
But Mike, can I say something?
Yep.
Yeah, go right
Can
ahead.
I say something? Jake Davis did shoot that three in the corner on the baseline side, but that's the issue is not Jake Davis shooting the three. The issue is that they shoot the three. If it was more getting the ball in the paint.
No, it just happened to be Jake. But
yeah, it was
the point
just
is, there's about 10 other guys that Bobby Hurley was like, I don't care if they shoot threes, let them. But the point is that, you know, when you're making this rally and you don't even think like, maybe they're not around me because they want me to throw this puppy up.
Coach Selfie used to say, Marcus, you open in the corner, huh? Yep, for a reason. He used to tell me that all the time. Your man in the paint for a reason. Get your butt in the paint. You won't be open down there.
That's true, though, but that's basketball. I understand what Coach Underwood was doing. He wants, if you're a shooter, which is what Griff, you were that post guy, I could shoot the basketball. I was damn good at it. Coaches have to give you that confidence, and I know Coach Underwood is giving them that. But there was times when I saw him today, Zonovan shot one. I couldn't read his lips; he was that far away. But you can damn well tell he was frustrated because he's like, they're open looks. And what's hard is that you watch other teams do that, and if you're not going to have that John Deere tractor in the middle, then damn it, you better make threes the rest of the season, because as much as Merkovic has looked good, he has made some bonehead plays and not understanding the game, and he's a freshman, and he gets sped up against better competition. Do I think he's good? Yes. There was a time when he got his shot blocked. I bought a new TV, so I had to watch the game on the computer. I think I kicked the computer. My computer went out because I missed the last 4 minutes of the game, because instead of dunking it, he laid it up. And that's the difference. And I'm not being negative, but I am. That's the difference of an American player and a European player. That's a damn dunk. But then you get it blocked. Just quit being soft. If Colin Boswell could just really, really leap and dunk all the time, I think he would. Even when he makes a mistake, I can't fault the guy. That kid is leaving it on the court. And I know in the back of his mind, he's thinking, because I interviewed his dad, and people can read it on IlliniGuys.com, that kid has played with European players his whole life. He has. Colin Boswell, when he was at Arizona, he's what he played with. You know, at the end of the day, I don't want to talk about, Morez Johnson, but he's that nasty guy. And I know statistically speaking, Merkovic has done that. But to your point, Mike and the Griff both, you need that nasty guy who will just, if he come in that damn paint, he's going to lay you on your ass and not pick you up and not feel bad about it. They don't have that. They just don't, and it's not going to appear. I will give Brad Underwood credit for this. Brandon Lee played tough. That kid came in the game.
He's going to get more minutes. He has to.
He has to, because he's going to guard. He is going to guard.
Can I say something real quick? I got two things. I do like Brandon Lee, but who is he going to take minutes from?
Yeah.
For one, that's going to be the problem when you have.
I know who it's going to be, and I know fans don't want to hear this. And as much as I hate to say it, it's going to be Petrovic. Because he doesn't play, he doesn't guard well. Wagler's going to play because he can score. He's 6'6". I think Petrovic, until he figures it out, like Mike said, because he didn't come in too late again. As good as he is on offense, he made some silly bonehead plays, but his defense is not where it needs to be. And if Brandon Lee is going to get through screens and not allowed to be screened, he didn't go under screens, thank goodness. He's got to be on the court. He played because of defense. They're not going to get a lot of offense from him, but if he can guard and help Colin Boswell out, and I'm going to tell you, I know they're going to have a come to Jesus meeting with the coaches. Somebody's minutes are going to get cut in half. It's just going to happen.
One other thing, KP.
It's not a bad take. Hold on, Fedigator. It's not a bad take, and I'm going to tell you why. That's why he came out. I'm really sorry. Watch the body language of the coaches. When he gets beat off the dribble, it's not a bad take. I want that kid to succeed more than anybody can possibly imagine.
He had a couple really
bad turnovers.
Some horrible turnovers too.
KP, you said something earlier about the open shots. When we played with Coach Self used to talk about fool's goal. And fool's goal was shooting an open shot at the wrong time. And
we have a lot of fool's gold.
Yes, you constantly do it. You constantly do it. Yes, you're open. But is that the shot we need right now? Let's try to get that ball in the paint. Like, when you 0 for 12, it's like that nasty funk is rubbing off on everybody. It's rubbing off on everybody. So let's try to get that ball in the paint. But they just want to keep up there and shoot. They want to go 0 for 15. And I'm never going to tell a shooter not to shoot. But at some point, you got to be like, okay, let's get that ball in the paint. We got to get it in the paint. We got to
get to the rim, get to the free throw line. Because I know many times coaches have told me in high school and college, kids, shoot the ball. And I know in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, and I know I'm good at it, I'm still getting my ass to the rack. I'm a good free throw shooter. Score when the clock has stopped. But to continue to jack it up, and you're right, fool's gold. And like, I have friends texting me about Zonomir. Why is he shooting? Well, he's a good shooter, but today he was broke. He was just broke. And then they just can't get over the hump. We can sit there and beat this to death. This team's not going to change. Should changes be made? I totally agree with it. I will say this too. There's going to be one negative comment to me about the teams and how they play. Somebody who said it here, somebody talked about the coaches. I want to see good teams will have a play or two. And Griff, I can recite some of the ones when Bill Self played, because I ran some of his sets. That backdoor pass, when everybody goes to the free throw line, there's plays that coaches have to have to stop the bleeding. Illinois doesn't have that. They don't have. I don't see it. I've watched enough games. I would love to see them, you know what, they're on a 10-0 run. Let's call X, whatever it is, to get a post touch, to get a backdoor, to slip a screen. People can criticize Bruce Weber all they want about his coaching, but I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you his go-to move. When Bruce Weber wanted a basket, he slipped James Augustine to that damn basket every time for a layup get fouled. Go back and watch the tapes, okay? Because that's what you have to do. Stop the bleeding. So all these people don't like Bruce Weber because they couldn't recruit. Those are when you want to get a basket. You shouldn't have to call timeout. That's what practice is for. That's what I think they're missing. Because when they got it to 7 or 8 or whatever the case may be, they're looking to go one-on-one ISO, pick and roll, hoping the guy makes a shot. I'm calling a set.
What was their but their typical though response is they're down by 7. That's when you give Stojakovic the ball. He goes down the lane and he gets a 2-point, gets a layup and maybe and one. And that's their set. And then it wasn't there today because he wasn't there. And they were like, oh, shoot, what do we do? And I think that's one of the big challenges is, and I don't really, we talk about Brad has no idea what a set is. I don't have a problem with just running an offense and not going with a key set, but you do have to have a player or two that you can get some, can get you the points when you need them. And right now, I don't think we do. And Marcus, you did receive a promotion earlier.
Oh yeah, thank you, Seth. Much love
Mike,
to you,
Mike.
man.
Can I make one comment? I'm really sorry. I know.
Go ahead.
This is not a bad take. I know there are a lot of men out there who refuses to watch women's basketball. I understand that. But I'm asking you as a friend, as a follower, subscriber, Illini guys, if you want to see a team run a motion offense and a coach who runs some unbelievable sets, watch Shauna Green for the Illinois women's basketball program. I watch Illinois women's basketball program because how well she runs it. They may not make the shot, but I'm telling you, she runs sets, and she runs sets. Barry Wallace is our best player. She's a 4th leading scorer in the Big Ten. She runs sets for her. She runs sets for her guards. She runs sets for her bigs to shoot pick and pop threes. Every team in the country, think about it. When Illinois got the run today, Arizona, they had an answer for it, and it wasn't just an ISO. That's what I think they need. And the best way to do it, Bruce Weber said this, and I took this to heart. I went to one of his coaching clinics. He said to all of us in that coaching clinic, if you don't know how to run good plays and how to run sets, watch ESPN, watch Fox, whatever the case may be. They're only going to show you the highlights. Use those highlights to draw plays, the last second shots. You know what? What did so-and-so draw up? How do they draw this play up? And then you learn from it. That's how you use it. And that's how he learned as a coach, because everybody's different. So if you want to learn how to run a set and you're not good at it, go find it and learn how to do it. Or go watch teams and not just watch the game for entertainment. They can run ISO all they want. They can do isolations. They can go one-on-one. They can slip screens. They can pick and pop. But when you need a basket, you have to be able to call timeout and take that clipboard and do it. And my last rant is this. I watch other assistant coaches during timeouts, and I will put it on my Twitter page to show it to you. That's why you have 18,000 coaches on the bench. One coach is defense. One coach has the scout. One coach should be able to say, timeout, coach, we're going to draw this play. We need a 3. We need a 2. That's what that coach is for. And I see it all the time. Sorry.
No, I get it. My father-in-law won 4 state titles in junior high, and we would watch games, and we'd see something go on, and then he'd throw something over to me, and he'd say, "Here's this play. You might want to put this in for your team." And because he would watch the motion, and he goes, "I learned all my best plays from guys." And me and a buddy developed a press break that was basically, just a couple of tweaks off of a Bill Self press break. And we were unpressable by teams that were Georgia Stars, that were top 10 teams in the country. Couldn't press us.
Mike, what happened when you pressed Kedrick? You played against my teams.
That didn't work so well that day, Kedrick. But you had 11 guys on the court. It looked like it. That's the thing, playing your teams. That's the thing. That's what I hated about playing Kedrick's team, because I'm like, there's no tall guys. That means every one of these dudes is fast as hell.
Short and fast.
I learned under this. My coaches always told me, you make teams pay. They play man, you make them play. They play zone, you make them pay. They press, you make them pay. That's the philosophy you have to have. Every time someone tries to take something away from you, you have to counter it.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I agree. And they haven't countered as effectively. And look, in fairness, and you've noticed, I haven't said much about Tomislav, because to be honest, I don't know that he should be playing very much at all right now, because coming off that surgery and then a knee tweak, I think he's clearly not back to 100%. I admire him for trying, but he's clearly struggling physically at that. And then Petrovic hasn't been here, has just got back. And then Stojakovic even didn't practice a bunch. So you've got 3 guys who haven't practiced much, coming into the season. I think this month of December, playing 1 game a week that they are now going to be doing until mostly, I think, for 3 of the 4 weeks or whatever. I think this is the most important month, because you got to get these guys on a practice court so that they know what the hell they're doing together, and you can get some sort of connection between the players, because we're not seeing that as much as what we would normally see either.
And that's defense too. And that's a lot with defense. Like, defense is always the hardest thing when you have a lot of players in and out of the lineup. Defense, because you got to be so on that bungee cord when you playing defense. And so it's kind of hard to feel and be able to read a person's mind if he's not in the offense a lot.
Yeah. And Tomislav, again, I'm not criticizing, because I can only imagine how hard it is come back from surgery and then mess up your knee and then have to play the schedule that they're playing this year. When Coach Underwood did this schedule, I'm sure he didn't think that we'll get Petrovic and then he'll be hurt for a month. We'll get Stojakovic and then he'll get hurt for a month. And then Tomislav's going to have emergency tonsillectomy and then he's going to get hurt. This will be great. I'm sure that's, sometimes these things get you. Yeah. But I just think you've got to figure out how to take it to the other team. And I think the other thing I don't understand, and you guys can tell me, but I got to be honest with you, I was slow, and I've seen plenty of slow guys. Defense isn't that hard if you just have a little bit of pride in it and you want to win. I just don't understand this thing on defense, because even if I'm not good at one-on-one with a guy, I can help out my teammates and I can put the other team into problems. And I just don't I just don't get that.
So here's my answer to that. If you're not a good defensive player, Mike, and some kids know, I'm going to pick on David, okay, right now. He is not quick laterally. What's tough today is you have to honor guys that can shoot. If you gap them, they're going to shoot it in your face. If you get too close to them, they're going to blow by you. They blow by you, you break down the defense. Then you get your big man in foul trouble, and if you don't get him in foul trouble, they get that layup. They give too much penetration at the top. Someone here posted on the right, and I agree with them. Our best on-ball defenders is Brandon Lee and Kylan Boswell. But you're going to give up offense if you sit Keaton Wagler. You're going to give up offense if you do Petrovic. So guys who are not confident in their defense, they're not going to get up and challenge the ball. They're just not. And the way the way teams shoot the ball today, you're screwed. You hurt yourself. And that's what Brad is looking for. I know he was searching for answers today because UConn didn't miss. But at the same time, if you know you're going to get burnt and the coach is going to take you out, which there was a play with Ben Humrickhouse, I remember just getting blown by, or Keaton Wagler. That's tough because it only not just affects you, but it puts pressure on your back line. It gets them in foul trouble. And now kids are shooting floaters, which they didn't do back in the day. So it's hard. They're not going to get a new team, and they have to figure out how to guard, and they have to stop the bleeding. For a whole team to go an entire half with 11 field goals, it's inexcusable. It's not okay. And I don't know, people are saying that Illinois shouldn't schedule these games. Truth be told, I think Illinois should have beat Alabama. I didn't expect Illinois to come beat UConn today in New York. I didn't. But I expected them to compete. I expected them to be closer and not be blown out the way they were blown out. Because you got Tennessee on a neutral site. So the Alabama game hurts. Now you have to try to win that game.
Going back to the question, you was talking about defense always comes down to an effort and pride thing. There's nothing else more to it than that. If you got guys that really don't want to get out there and defend, it's because they are choosing not to get out there and defend. It is just that simple. It ain't even nothing else to think about. The ones that you really see want to shut someone down like Boswell, it's something that's deep in that man's soul. It's something deep in here that he stands on. And I can remember when we was playing ball, I can literally remember Serge saying, when we was in high school, let's try to not let our man score for the first 5 minutes of the quarter. That's what was our mindset. Like, we took pride in that. And it wasn't even about us scoring because we knew we could put up 80 points, 90 points in high school. But we was so hell-bent on not letting our men score. It was prideful. It was prideful all deep in us. And now you see players, it's just not as prideful. Maybe because the NBA don't pride on it anymore. It's all about if you can shoot threes and if you can run the floor. And that's what it's about now. And so it sucks, but that's just how basketball has just changed in the last 15 years.
Now, here's an interesting one. Illini hang their hat on rebounding. They haven't done that as well the last 4 games. Coach Brad's team will win without shooting as long as they dominate the boards. And there's probably more truth to that than we think when you look. Because I'll be honest with you, the last 4 or 5 years, because kids had to listen, Illinois has not been a good anything better than an average shooting team.
I think 34% this year.
The best shooting team they had was when they made the Elite 8 run with Terrence Shannon out there, who's a good 3-point shooter. Marcus Domas was average. They were decent then. And look what happened. They made a Final 8 run. You got to make shots. We can overanalyze this, but there's 2 things. Make shots and play defense. We can talk all the other stuff that we want, but if you're wide open and you can't make shots, you guys saw the same thing I did. How many times did you see them make a shot? And how confident were you that when Illinois shot a wide open shot, it was going to go in? We were probably hoping and wishing it was going to go in, but it just wasn't there. And I don't know what the answer is because they always start out shooting the ball really well, and then they didn't in the end. I don't think it's Griff's right. I don't think it's a talent thing all the time. I think the kids can play. But to me, challenging these kids, and I do. I'm sorry, you guys. I want to see the Brad Underwood of old. If you don't like it, turn the TV down. when he starts yelling and chewing some kids is behind out, close your eyes and drink some lemonade or some water or something. They need to be challenged.
KP, you've been around these kids now, man. You can't. You've been around them. You know what this generation of kids are like.
I know where you're going.
Ways, what'd you say?
I know where you're going. You're right, because you can't do it back in the day.
And something that I say off the air that happened with we just talk about it off the air, and I think that changed how coach reacts now to a lot of certain things. And
he has to, Griff. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna call spade a spade. Fans complain, people complain. They complain, and that's why you saw the change. But you know what? When Brad Underwood got there, everybody knew you rebounded and you were tough. But today, you cry, if you yell, and you say the wrong thing, your feelings get hurt. Go to another school, because that's not for him. Because they can recruit, they have talent. I want to see guys who are tough. Mike and those guys used to laugh at me all the time how much I love Terrence Shannon and Marcus Domask, because those dudes, you punch them, they're bringing the incredible Hulk to knock you out. They're not going to get punched in the face and say, "Can I get you a cup of tea, mate?" They're not doing that. They're going to fight back, and that's what they don't have. They need that, and it's not on this team. It's not going to happen overnight. You have two dogs, a dog and a half, Brandon Lee and Kylan Boswell. Everybody else are good players. Brandon Lee and Kylan Boswell, number one, and the half is Brandon Lee.
I think that's two dogs. I think that's two dogs.
Okay.
And they got a third one, but he just can't play yet. It's Ty.
Yeah. Who?
Ty Rogers.
Ty Rogers.
Yeah.
Now, Ty Rogers but you will lose so much scoring.
Yeah.
We don't make shots anyway, man. So what the hell?
Yeah, what's the difference?
If they can't score,
look, the bottom line is the other thing you have to do is you have to get stops, and they have not been very good at getting stops at key moments in the game. Look, basketball.
It sounds like the football team.
Yeah, but basketball is very similar though. Football, you only have to stop them one more time, then they stop you. And basketball is the same. And as much as we're complaining here that Illinois is not a great defensive team, they held a pretty good UConn team to 41% shooting.
Yeah.
And so you got to start looking at, okay, so the offense, to me, the offense stinks. The defense could get better, and you've got to rebound better. You got to rebound better.
It's not a lot that we got to work on.
But they're important.
Yes.
Griff's right. Yeah, I think you're both right. Griff's right. You guys are both right. It's not a lot. Nope. It's just, I think you're both 100% right, and it's probably the best part of the podcast. I think you're both right. It's not that you're demanding a lot. It's just blocking out. And one of you guys mentioned early in the podcast, there were rebounds. They missed a shot. When you needed the rebound, they didn't go get it. They didn't get it. Be that guy.
UConn did.
Yeah,
yes. You be that guy. You go get the ball. Don't expect your teammates to go get it. That's one thing I liked about Dennis Rodman. He would always say every rebound was his. He wasn't expecting Scottie Pippen or Bill Wennington or whoever the coach to get the ball. He went and got it. That's what they have to do.
The other thing you need is you do need a little bit of luck, because Zero, Smith for UConn, he's a very good defender, but he also, uses hips and elbows and hand checks and all sorts of things. And amazingly, didn't have a foul all game. And Illinois needs to watch a film and see, we got to figure out how we get away with crap like that. Because
Boswell could, if he just stopped reaching.
Well, yeah, you're exactly correct.
He will get away with it.
One thing, if you notice, UConn did not put their hand out on people like that, which saves them quite a few fouls. And if Illinois would just learn to not do that.
Okay, this is me crying. I think Illinois should start flopping, because I think Alabama flopped. UConn flopped. Griff, let me ask you a question. Griff, let me ask you a question, baby. Tell me the truth. Griff, don't make me send you videos, man. Listen, it's acting 101, because it works.
We're not doing that.
You don't want to see a flop? Hey,
don't do that, Marcus. The last time he got on this speech, he fell off his chair, and then we had to wonder if he was hurt or not.
No.
All right,
take that back to the SEC. We
See, at
standing
least you
on
know
ours
it.
here.
Thank you.
No.
At least you know it. You know it.
No, they can take that over there. What we cannot do though, we cannot let the officiating. If 2000 Illini was mentally tougher, and I can say this about myself, we would have won a national championship that year. We allowed the referees to
get in your head
dictate how we play.
We was not the Arizona game.
Yes, we was not prepared for that, and we could not adjust on the fly fast enough because we were so worried mentally. Every time we went down the floor, they was gonna call foul. They was gonna hit us, chirp, 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 chirp.
and they did.
And they did.
So during the game, how would you have adjusted to that now? Looking back at it, Marcus, how would you have adjusted to that now that you're older and wiser?
We all would have had to get together. We would have all had to sit there. We would have had to play with our chests a lot more. The things that they used to allow us to play in the Big Ten, they was not allowing us to play in that Elite Eight. Like play with our chest, play with our thighs. We like front in the post. Like we couldn't put our forearms on the back. Like they wouldn't allow us to do that. Like you see now, defenders. So just little things like that. But when you're emotional and then you let your emotions get involved, that's something that I'm trying to teach fourth grade boys right now. If we could have just got over that hump, there's no question that I felt like we was not the best team that year. But we just couldn't get over that hump in that game. That was the most fouls probably in a Elite Eight game. It's still probably
I think it is, yeah.
highest ones.
Griff, let me ask you, as a former,
I fouled out 4 games in college. We never fouled that much in a basketball game.
Griff, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to be truthful with all the fans. Can you promise to do that?
Yeah, facts.
What would you do if you had this team yourself? What would you do, is knowing the fact that you played at this level, you played for one of the best coaches who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Is I'm a coach or a player?
You are a coach. What would you do differently with this team that you have right now?
This was your squad. All my bigs, we would have to have a come to Jesus conversation. Because I love the fact that we can stretch out the floor, but we need to punish people inside. People are going to switch because they think we're soft. I don't want that. I don't want that thought process in anybody's heads. If I get a 6-foot guard on me, you better demand the damn ball. You better demand the damn ball. I don't want you floating out there to shoot a 3. You better get your butt on the block, and I'm going to teach the guards to look for you on the block. So you demand it. You post up with presence. You post up with force, and then we're going to get you the ball. And then guess what, guys? We're going to play off of that. We're going to play off of that motion. We want slashing. I want our athletes to be athletes. I want our spot-up shooters to knock down walk-in spot-up shots. But we're going to punish people in the paint. I got 4 7-footers. And Boswell is our leading points in the paint person, and Stojakovic. No, I'm not going for that. Not in the Big Ten. Not in the Big Ten. Because we got heavy hitters in the Big Ten. We got to run up against Purdue. We got to run up. Like, I just saw Michigan State and Michigan.
They're all better. Iowa's even better. Everybody's better now. It's not like it used to be. Everybody. And that comment right there, William States, whatever, everybody knows I'm good friends with Jeremy Fierce. And that dude texted me yesterday and said to me yesterday, "Kid, you guys can laugh at Michigan State not being able to shoot. Every year, everybody talks about Tom Izzo not being able to do anything, and they are kicking people's you-know-what. He is never going to allow teams to out-hustle. He's not going to win every game, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you play Michigan State, you're going to flipping know that you played them. I'm sorry, you just are. And whether we like it or not, his teams bring it. I don't think, if you look at their roster, it's not talented. They're good, but their system and how hard they play is unmatched. They're just tough.
First time they're ever 7-0 under Izzo. I think it was the first time since 2021 season. 2001 season that they're 7-0.
The championship year. Yeah,
they started 7-0.
With not a lot of talent, guys. Think about it. I think they have one McDonald's All-American on their roster. Illinois has one. And they have 2 losses. Michigan State plays the way you should be played. They bump you, and I'm going to tell you, they know if you push certain teams and they're not going to push back, Izzo's going to push their ass right out the door. He's going to do it.
Well, look, that's the part I guess that players haven't really figured out, because they are one of the first things you do as a ref is like, if I'm playing against Marcus and I get 3 fouls on me, the ref's like, well, I don't want to foul that guy out of the game.
Yeah, they don't
And then all of a sudden they're going to let me start killing him because they don't want, and so, some of these teams, they take advantage of just understanding the psychology of someone not wanting. A referee doesn't want to say, I don't want that I changed the game, that I fouled Marcus out in 3 minutes. It happens occasionally, but it doesn't happen that often.
Yep.
And so, like, I thought UConn was much better at using their body, their shoulders, and their arms on Illinois players than vice versa. Defensively, they were much better at that contact. So I just think that's something that Illinois needs to teach better.
Well, one other thing, Kev, to talk about your point, what I would do, I need a rim runner too. Like, we have so many guys that run out to the perimeter. I need one of my
never
bigs
come back.
Yes, I need one of my bigs to run to the front of the rim.
Yeah, they float.
They
float to the 3-point. They float to that 3-point line. They all do good. That's
because
well
they
said.
can pass. Like, I got bigs that can pass the ball. So when I get a big at the top of the key and I got another big posting up in the paint, you know how many times I used to have a little bitty guard on me trying to post me up because I would outrun the big down the floor? Let's get some of those matchups. Those are those easy buckets that I'm talking about.
Yes,
that's what I look at. And I look at fast breaks. Fast break to me is not about getting down there and trying to necessarily get an easy layup, but a fast break is to hustle down there and try to get a mismatch on defense to get an easy shot. So in other words, because maybe one time Marcus is loafing down the court and Ked gets me guarding him instead of Marcus, Ked gets an easy shot.
Yep.
And so to me, that's like this walk the ball up just drives me crazy. Man, I think you should be trying to literally get that ball up in 2 passes and try to force the defense. Because if nothing else, the defense knows they got to run their butt off. You're going to tire teams out a little bit.
But
you know why Michigan State has been so successful? Michigan State plays basketball like the SEC and ACC. It's called a secondary break. When you score on Michigan State, they're going to push that damn basketball right down your throat. And before you turn around, there's a layup or lob dunk coming the other way. The Big Ten hasn't done that. Now, this year, I think it's a little different. Yeah, I think it's a little bit different. I think there's some teams that can do it. But if you don't have a secondary break, and everybody runs it differently. The way I ran it, one pass, my big better be on the block and beat them down the court because you get a mismatch. And here's a mismatch. The guards are the ones that are back, not the bigs. So you make them punish them. And I don't understand why teams don't do that, because it's there. Those are easy opportunities where you can push the ball. Because I know people watch the games for entertainment. I watch them for X's and O's and the entertainment part. That's why I mentioned Shauna Green earlier. And I'm not just saying it. That woman is a masterful surgeon when it comes to drawing up plays. I'm sorry. And she just is, whether they convert it or not. And there's other guys that are like that. I think Barry Lundy Jr. is an amazing offensive coordinator. Some people are just gifted at it. Illinois basketball needs that. They have to find ways to get easy baskets. And if you're out of a timeout, what happens if you're down by 5 and you're out of a timeout? You don't have if they don't call a timeout, if they don't go check the shot clock, your team needs to know, I'm running this, we need a 3. I'm running this to get a basket. Run 12 for Marcus Griffin. Run 15 for Mike Cagley. That is what you do. That's when I said to you, you make teams pay for those things. That's what you know what
I would, if I had been a head coach in the Big Ten or the SEC, knowing that Bruce Weber likes basketball and wants to be a part of it, and he never really enjoyed the recruiting, I would have called him up and said, hey, you're making X broadcasting basketball. How about be an assistant coach that doesn't have to recruit and make this? You don't have any overnights. You're not going to be a guy trying to land anybody. But I need you to be there to talk to. I need you to be my defensive coordinator and occasionally help me with my offensive coordination. Because that guy is
good at it, Mike. Yes.
But defense is not hard. I don't even know why people think they need a defensive coordinator. All you have to do is make sure you recruit. the
I
dogs
agree.
that you want to play. That's all what it's about. If you want to be good defensively, you got to look at people. Maybe they're not scoring as much. Maybe they put a lot of effort on that defensive side, and you got to see people who's putting that effort out there.
Nope.
And once you find out,
Fatigator's totally against my idea. I would have Weber so fast it'd make your head spin.
People
because
don't like him, Mike.
he could not recruit, but the guy
Yes.
could coach. If he would have stayed
coach.
at SIU, he would have a statue. There would be no SIU arena. It'd be the Weber arena. But he got into the big leagues where he made a lot more money. Let's give him credit for that. But he also got stuck trying to recruit, which wasn't his cup of tea.
Let me ask
He's
you
no
this.
Bill Self when it comes to recruiting trail.
This is no disrespect to my guy Griff, number 52, sitting here, or any other Illinois players. What coach has taken Illinois to the national championship game? I'll hang up and listen. I don't care if they were his players, if they were borrowed, if they were on loan, if they were through Cash App or Venmo. He got them to the national title game.
KP.
Who else did? I'm listening.
I understand what you're saying, but we both know there's more to it than that. And you know.
I'm listening.
I will give it to you.
We got this battle, but we need peace now.
Hold up, KP. He got a team to the Final Four. I will give you that.
Championship game.
Championship game. National championship game. I cannot take that away from him at all. But there's a lot more to it than that, and you know it is.
All right, next podcast.
All right, we got Sturdy. We got Sturdy. Hey, Brad, what are your thoughts coming out of this game?
Obviously, I think that there's a lot of negative talk. Everybody's down on it, but I do think that there were some positives too. I thought they actually guarded in the second half, got after a little bit, but you're gonna have to, when you run an offense that has such, trying to run a 5-out offense with spacing, and you get wide open threes, at some point you got to make them, and that's kind of where they, that's the reality. I mean, those looks. They got shots at the rim. We always talk about rims and threes, right? And they missed them. I mean, they were at one point, they were 3 of 11 on layups, I think it was. They at one point, then they were 7 for 15. Later on, finally made a few, and then they missed some more down the stretch. They finished like 9 of 22 at the rim, and then they're 6 of 29 at 3. I mean, that's really bad. I mean, there's not much you can do, but first half they let UConn get going, and that was bad. I mean, they let them get going offensively, didn't really fight, didn't compete, didn't get through screens. And, UConn's good, though. I mean, give them credit. They're a really good team.
Yeah, they're good.
I think they're a legit top 5 team. And so, it's not a bad loss. It's just you feel like it's another thing, though, where they just little things keep them from making the strides they need to make and getting the plays and making the plays they need to win a game like this, which is, obviously a game they could have won had they played a little bit better.
Yep, that's fair. How anything on Stojakovic? I know people were a little surprised he didn't make it back in.
A lot of unhappiness about his play on the defensive end. And he didn't rebound. Just between that, he's got to do the things besides just driving the basket and scoring. I mean, and that's where he didn't do that consistently. I mean, it was just, he missed shots at the rim. Yeah. But he also, you can defend and you can rebound on the other end, and that's how you get more minutes. And he just didn't do it. And I think this was one of those games where Brad was trying to find the best defensive combo in the second half, he said. And whether that was Brandon Lee or, they even put Jake Davis out there just because, and they actually were better with him out there because he was following scouting reports. He was staying engaged. At least he was giving effort on the defensive end.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, Mike, while he was in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind him being in the game.
Thing. But, here's the thing you got to understand. Some of it is you have to make these guys accountable. And that's one thing that hasn't happened enough with all the missed practices. Brad mentioned that in the postgame. There hasn't been enough accountability in practice for those guys to learn how they're supposed to play defensively. Because the reality is you can't take them out because you don't have anybody put in. Now and in this a game where you're down anyway, there's nothing going. You might as well give somebody else a shot, which I actually like. I mean, because now it's like, hey, if you're not going to defend, you're not going to guard, then you're not going to play.
Yeah, no. I'm constantly amazed by Mirkovic as slow a foot he is side to side, how he ends up with 8 rebounds. With it's amazing to me, and it's like if you just played a little bit of defense, it'd be hard to take you out of a game. But that's just me.
But I definitely didn't agree with him guarding the best shooter in the country. I definitely didn't agree with that.
Right.
I don't know what that. I don't know who put that on the scouting report.
Scouting report, baby.
Yeah, I don't know who said I want my person that's our best.
That's not ideal. That's not ideal.
Our best rebounder running around the 3-point line all game. I don't know who came up with that idea.
Well, it's not Sturdy. We know that.
It wasn't me. I will say one thing. UConn runs really good stuff where they get you in a spin cycle and they get you in mismatches and switch. And that's what they do. That's what Hurley's a really good offensive coach. He runs a lot of stuff like that. But the other thing they have going for him is having a guy like that. Remember when I don't think Illinois had a guy like that since Plummer, right? Alfonso Plummer, who could run around and catch and shoot on the move.
Yeah.
And they got a couple guys like that. Well, Plummer was also 3'7". So now you got a 6'9" guy who can run around and shoot. And that's really hard to guard.
Merck's got him.
Yeah.
I got him. And, here's the thing. I actually thought he did a better job than I thought he would, as scary as that is. But because I think he was trying, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he doesn't have the defensive discipline yet because he's still 19 years old. He's still a freshman. And he's learning how to play at this level. And so, there's a lot to, I think sometimes, we maybe expect too much from guys like him.
No. Can I say something? Sorry to interrupt you, Sturdy. But this is what tells me about that dogness, because I can just remember if I would have been playing and Serge was on that team, Serge would have been like, no, I got him, coach. Would have been like, no, coach, I got him. We're gonna put Marcus on somebody else that's gonna keep Marcus closer to the basket. Boswell, I'm pretty sure Boswell, but it wouldn't have worked because Boswell had to guard the guards. But I would have been like, Sturdivic, you guard him.
Yes.
That's where my mindset is at. And until you get him to do that, to step up for his team, is going to be an issue.
Hey, I want to give kudos to Coach Underwood. I didn't mention this yet. To sit a guy like Stojakovic, knowing who his father is, and on the big stage, I give Brad credit. A lot of coaches wouldn't have done that. They would have bent the knee and said, no, I'm not doing it. I give Brad credit. This was a teachable moment. You have to give us more than just slashing to the basket and scoring. So kudos to Coach Underwood for doing that, because as good as Stojakovic is, he is talented, and he's long enough to guard and rebound. He didn't do that. Kudos to Brad Underwood and his staff.
I agree.
Anything else, Brad, that comes to mind here? That I know we've waited for you, so now we're going to make you carry the show.
It's all good. No, don't you think? I really think there's a lot of things to learn from this. I really think that you want to play these games. It doesn't do any good to go out and beat somebody by 25 points. So a lot of people are like, why do we schedule these games? It's like, well, so you see where you're at, right? And I think that's the key here, and they've got to figure out where they're at, and they see where they need to make adjustments, where they need to get guys going. The other good thing is they've got 8 days of practice right now, and that is huge because they have 8 days of practice with actually having everyone in everyone there, and I think that is probably the biggest part of this next week, and that's what gives me a lot of hope going into the Tennessee games. They're going to have 8 days of practice, nice full prep, and it's the first time they've had those guys in practice. Oh, yeah. Where everybody's there. And and Marcus, you can attest to this. This is going to be one of those back when Bill Self would show up in the combat fatigues practices, right? You know what I mean? Like these are going to be like, they're going to get after it. They're going to learn to guard, or they're going to rebound and play hard all the time, or they won't be out there, and they're going to be able to see who can be a little tougher. Cause that's the one knock on some of the kind of European guys, is that they're maybe a little softer. Right. Yeah. I mean, they like to score and they play the game's different. And, part of that is, too, the game is different. Let's be honest. That game's more free flowing. This game, you drive in the paint, you're probably going to get hit. You see Boswell, he gets hit. A lot of times they don't call it, but he takes a lot of when he goes to the basket. That's part of the game in college basketball.
It's supposed to be. Them little guards need to get knocked on their butt.
Exactly.
And
You gotta-
Petrovic does not like that. We can tell you that for sure.
No, he doesn't.
When
But
When he
I
gets-
agree with you. You got this time, like 8 days of practice. This is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard on those boys because he gets everybody back. Everybody is healthy, and he's going to see. It's going to be okay. He's going to be fixing different lineups, see who he can play with in different type of situations, and come Tennessee's game, he's going to have a good idea in that game on who's he's going to be able to ride with. Because after that, he's got 4 more games, and he goes straight into the Big Ten.
Mike Cagley, Marcus Griffith, and Brad Sturdy, and all of our listeners. This is Illinois basketball. In those 8 days, somebody's going to get injured.
Oh, don't
great.
Ken,
Way to go, Ken.
knock on wood, man. Come on, Ken.
Listen, tell me it hasn't happened all season. Mike just said on the podcast, Brad didn't think this. They can't. If it can happen in Illinois, it's going to happen. They just can't get over the hump. Something always has to. Listen, I'm the most positive player on this podcast, baby.
Not right now.
I'm telling you. Dude,
Hey, Sturdy, you want to help Ked? What do you think the odds are of some sort of rare injury occurring in the next 8 days?
Don't ask him that because he knows it's possible. It is. All right, Sturdy, what do you got?
Well,
Why would you bring that up, KP? That's terrible.
I think he.
Yeah, I think now he's on a verbal strike because KP's bringing up injuries.
Okay, I tell you what. If we find out somebody's injured, you dudes better not call me or text me because I'm gonna give it to you. They just can't get healthy.
No.
You know what? Even like with Thomas Law, right now he should be healthier. He's been out for a while, Mike, and I know you mentioned his surgery, but he still just doesn't look himself.
It just takes time. It takes time.
Yep.
He got a whole new group of guys. He got a whole new group of guys that he's playing with. It just takes time. He got to get his energy back. He has to figure out where he's at. Boswell and Sturdivic, and I can't think of the big boy's name.
Big T and Big Z.
The other one. Merkovich. They are taking more of the offense right now. And where he thought that he would have a bigger presence on the offensive side since he was out. And so now it's just going to take him a little bit of time so he can slide in there and figure out where he can put his fingerprints on the game.
Hey, quick question here. You think this guy lives outside of Nashville, or is he talking to somebody saying Nash and he just lives outside? I'm thinking
I don't know what that means.
Just a quick question. So, Sturdy, any final thoughts? I think your technical difficulties is God telling us that we need to sign off here today.
We can't hear, so good. He didn't hear my comment.
He'll have to listen to the podcast
to
get all this.
What Ked do now?
Nothing.
Ked basically predicted that in 8 days we're looking at somebody getting injured because that's Illinois luck.
Yeah,
Brad, it's possible, right? Tell the truth, man.
It's not.
We don't want that to happen.
Take that back.
Brad, I don't know what to probably get a sprained ankle or something.
Do you have anything you want to wrap up with, Brad? I think this is God telling us to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the big thing is, these losses, this loss and the Alabama loss don't really hurt you, but you really need to get these next two against Tennessee and Missouri. And I think obviously they're more winnable than this one was. This was essentially a road game and against a really hungry UConn team that really needed this win. And they needed it really badly too, coming off their home loss. So I think that, this was a tough matchup. But I do think they found some stuff in the second half. And, if you can compete like they did in the second half on the defensive end, they're going to be fine offensively. Obviously, they've been really good offensively for the last 2 years from an efficiency standpoint, last 3 or 4 years, really. So now it's just a matter of guarding. And that's something they haven't been doing very well. And I thought they did a much better job in the second half of defending and contesting. And that one, it didn't make it a loss or anything. They were down 7 at the time, but the 3-point call, the shot clock deal was really a game it ended any hope they had of winning that, because if that's a shot clock violation and they have the ball down 7 with 2 minutes to go, there's a lot of things that can happen then. You just never know.
Or if it was a foul on the over the back because Rickhouse actually blocked
Brad, have
out.
you seen that? Brad, have you seen that yet?
Yeah. I watched
Okay,
it. I watched.
Brad, that was
Well,
that was awful.
I watched it live too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we watched the replay when we had it on the laptop there, and I really thought so. I think the mistake they made was they looked at the shot clock because it was down to 2. Well, then it was 18. So what happened was they didn't count the time when the ball was tipped out from the reset until UConn secured the ball. Those 2 seconds they didn't count, and I think that was the mistake. They were looking at, it's 2 and 2, and it was just it just didn't make sense the way they described it.
It makes
And
sense when you're a ref and you're at Madison Square Garden and you want to get out of there. Okay.
alive, yeah, you want to leave alive. I just saw him leaving. Decided Zeltensteed, Paul Zelk, and I thought Zelk and Steed were fine today. I thought the other guy was really brutal, but anyway, so it happens. So but I do think that's part of it. I think you see you got to be able to weather that, and that's why you're going to get a bad call on the road like that. But you got to play better for the other 30, the first 37 minutes, so you don't have yourself in that situation. But yeah, I thought that was a tough call, but that kind of took all the steam out of the Illinois comeback there, and. Not saying they would have come back, but I mean, I think it did show some competitive fight that, Brad Leonard was looking for. But you notice they had to play, I hate to say this, but they had to play they had to go kind of American there down the stretch and went away from the Euro guys. And I think that tells those European guys this is what we have to do if we want to compete at this level.
Yep, that's good. That's a good way to wrap this puppy up. Of course, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Believe it or not, we'll be doing the halftime live and the post game for Northwestern. So that will be. Let's hope to God Illinois can do that. You saw how Nebraska came down to earth with their football season, finishing today getting just curb stomped by Iowa. So I want Illinois to deliver the curb stomp tomorrow, so we can feel more like Iowa fans than Nebraska fans. That's just the way it is. But the bottom line is we will be back on that, and of course we have a few days break here before I believe it's next Saturday night that they play Tennessee. So it'll be a little bit of a break, and we have been doing podcasts a lot of this last week. But we do appreciate you being here. We appreciate having Sturdy on. We appreciate Ked, and of course getting Marcus, the Illini legend, on is great. Until next time, folks, go Illini.